Are you the special?
He thought he was taking control, but instead he unleashed a supernatural force that not only haunted his mind but began to consume his very body. The movie begins by focusing on a carpenter's hands. He works with steady, precise movements, carving a simple wooden box. But there's something strange and unsettling about his work. It seems too perfect, too deliberate. The final detail is a small, circular hole on one side of the box. In a dimly lit bar, we meet Jerry Harford, who is drowning his sorrows in whiskey. He's filled with suspicion that his wife, Lisa, has cheated on him. He wants to forgive her, but his friend, Mike, thinks this is a sign of weakness. Mike tells him that forgiveness will only lead to more pain. He leans in closer, offering a solution with a tempting, hushed voice. He knows a place, a secret brothel, that offers not just pleasure, but something special that will give Jerry the revenge he craves. Jerry hesitates, feeling a knot in his stomach, but Mike's wicked grin and persuasive words convince him. "One night won't hurt, right?" Mike says. Jerry slowly nods, sealing his fate with that single agreement. Mike drives Jerry through dark, empty streets. The car's engine is the only sound, humming like a heartbeat in the quiet night. The brothel is hidden behind a false front, disguised as a psychic's clinic. To keep its location a secret, Mike forces Jerry to wear a plastic bag over his head. "This is all about control," Mike explains, to make sure Jerry can't come back on his own, especially if he gets addicted to the special. Inside, the air is thick with mystery. Strange symbols cover the walls, and flickering candlelight casts long shadows. Jerry's eyes land on a woman named Sin, whose eyes seem to hold a dark secret. She surprises him by calling him by his name, claiming she could see it in his eyes. Jerry feels like she's not a normal woman. But before he can ask about her, Madame Yora, the psychic who runs the brothel, greets them with a knowing smile. Mike pushes Jerry forward, telling him to get the special. Jerry thinks Madame Yora is the special, but when she leads him into another room, he realizes the truth. The real special is waiting, hidden in the shadows. Jerry enters the room, confused because it's empty. He sees a sealed box with an odd hole and a simple note, "Stick it in here." Thinking it might be a prank, he looks around, but the room is silent. Feeling a strange pull, Jerry follows the instructions. The moment he does, an overwhelming, dark, and thrilling sensation takes over his body. He trembles, his mind swirling with confusion, and he eventually passes out. Mike finds Jerry unconscious and panics, not knowing what happened. He quickly dresses Jerry, his hands shaking. Madame Yora watches them from a distance, her eyes sharp and cold. She calls for a worker to help Mike carry Jerry to the car. As they leave, she delivers a chilling warning: "Don't bring him back. He's wanted by the special." In the back seat, Jerry is groggy and confused, haunted by what he felt. He tries to understand what was in the box, but Mike tells him it's better not to know, hinting at a dark truth. When they get to Jerry's house, Mike promises to take him to see Sin again, but he makes it clear that one mystery box experience is all anyone ever needs. Though it isn't a stated rule, there's a deeper reason behind it that Jerry isn't ready to understand. Inside, his wife Lisa is waiting. She's furious about his late night out. Then, she drops a bombshell. She's pregnant. Jerry freezes in shock. Jerry's mind immediately goes back to his suspicions about Lisa's loyalty and his own actions. With a cold, bitter laugh, he blurts out, "Are you sure it's mine?" Lisa's face turns pale, her anger instantly replaced by heartbreak. Later that night, Jerry is alone in bed, his thoughts spinning out of control. A strange sensation takes over his body, a powerful echo of his experience at the brothel. The night is long and leaves him with more questions than answers. The next morning, Jerry stumbles into work with a pounding head and a dark mood. He sits next to Mike and complains about the pregnancy news. He tells Mike that Lisa is now accusing him of cheating and blames him for staying out so late. Then, Jerry remembers something from a few days ago. Lisa had to call a salesman herself about a snowblower. He realizes he had jumped to the wrong conclusion, assuming the worst about her. He sighs, filled with regret for doubting his wife and even more, for seeking revenge. However, deep down, he still doesn't fully see his actions as cheating. Despite these realizations, Jerry's obsession with the brothel grows stronger. He has to find it again. Mike refuses to tell him the location every time Jerry asks, so Jerry decides to find it on his own. During his lunch break, he books an appointment with a psychic, just as Mike did to get him into this mess. At the psychic's office, Jerry desperately asks for Madame Yora's address. After some twists and turns, he tracks down the brothel. His heart is pounding with anticipation. He doesn't hesitate and offers to pay double for this special, willing to do whatever it takes. After another wild experience, Jerry feels an even stronger curiosity about the box. He inspects the inside but finds it empty. Then his fingers brush against something hidden, a lock on the back. The box is light, and a thought crosses his mind. What if he could take it? As he tries to leave with the box, Madame Yora appears in the doorway, blocking his escape. In a moment of panic, Jerry pushes her. When she tries to stop him, he steps on her throat. The pressure builds, and her struggles grow weaker until she lies motionless. Jerry freezes, breathing heavily, his face pale with disbelief as he stares at his reflection. He has just committed murder. Without another word, he rushes out, clutching the box tightly. Ivan, one of the brothel workers, watches from a distance as Jerry's car disappears into the night. Jerry, spotting a worn-out ad for a motel, checks in for a week. He quickly hides the box under the bed and coldly tells the housekeeper not to enter his room under any circumstances. Meanwhile, a detective is at the brothel, examining the crime scene. He quietly notes Madame Yora's real name, Anna Grabinski. Ivan, who is there, insists he is the only employee and the only security guard. But the detective is suspicious. He smells cigarette smoke, which doesn't fit the psychic clinic atmosphere. Ivan remains calm, answering every question with practiced ease, careful not to reveal anything. Jerry, on the other hand, can't stop thinking about the box. The memory of the strange, powerful feeling haunts him every night. His mind is filled with a burning curiosity about what's inside. One day, he discovers a mysterious fluid in the box. When he touches it, it sparks a powerful sensation inside him, one he can't ignore. Back at home, Lisa is waiting, her eyes full of suspicion about his late-night work meetings. Jerry tries to use the fluid again, desperate for the feeling, but Lisa interrupts him. Frustrated, he ends up sleeping with her instead, though his mind is still fixated on the box. The next morning, a concerned Lisa calls Mike. Lisa tells Mike that Jerry has been acting distant, treating her like a stranger, which makes her question his loyalty. When Mike tells Jerry about Lisa's concerns, Jerry snaps, furious that Mike is talking to his wife behind his back. Although he's angry, deep down, Jerry is confused about his own feelings. As Lisa is in the shower, a sharp, painful jolt goes through her lower body. Horrified, she sees something she can't understand, something that looks like him, forming on her skin. At the same time, the detective returns to the brothel, pressing Ivan for more answers. He believes Ivan is hiding something to protect the person who killed Madame Yora. He asks if anything was stolen, and Ivan quickly denies it. The detective raises an eyebrow when Ivan jokes that he would curse the person who did this to Madame Yora, asking how he knows it was a man. Ivan shrugs, saying that men also visit psychics. The detective's gaze lands on the mirror in the special room, and a chill runs down his spine. He questions Ivan about the objects on a table. Ivan casually mentions a wooden box, but the detective's instincts tell him it was much more than an ordinary item. Jerry has used the box too many times, and now an uncomfortable rash is spreading across his groin and pelvic area. A doctor prescribes an ointment and tells him to stop whatever he's doing, but Jerry ignores the warning. He buys the ointment and heads home. When Lisa talks to him about her suspicions, Jerry gives her a quick, careless apology, but then offers a more sincere one, mumbling some comforting words before going to bed. The burning pain in his stomach grows. The next morning, Jerry rushes to the box, but this time, the magic is gone and the fluid has vanished. His obsession takes over, and he buys a bolt cutter to force the box open. The moment the lock snaps, a foul stench fills the air. However, blinded by his craving for the feeling the box gave him, Jerry ignores the smell and the growing rash on his skin. He applies the ointment and continues his twisted addiction. Lisa starts to put the pieces together when a coworker tells her Jerry called in sick. She sees the name of the motel on a credit card receipt in the mail. Determined to find the truth, she tracks down the motel. The housekeeper, catching Lisa's eye, subtly points her in the direction of Jerry's room. Lisa waits, her heart pounding. When Jerry opens the door, she steps inside and is hit by a disgusting, foul smell. She demands to see the person he's cheating on her with, but Jerry denies it. His panic gives him away, and he desperately tries to stop her from entering the bathroom. She pushes past him and sees a gooey, pulsating ball that looks alive. Lisa recoils in disgust, but Jerry pulls her away. In a flash, he snaps. Without any remorse, he chokes her until she passes out. When she stirs back to life, gasping for air, Jerry stabs her with the bolt cutter, his face completely blank and emotionless. He has lost the last shred of his humanity. Jerry quickly cleans up the terrible mess. He then goes home, where the snowblower is waiting. Jerry is rude and dismissive to the snowblower, not caring. With cold eyes, he takes the slimy, pulsating ball to the bathtub and carries Lisa's lifeless body to the attic. He decorates the attic with drapes and lights, almost lovingly caressing the strange mass as his mind drifts further from who he once was. Meanwhile, Mike watches the news and sees Ivan on TV. Ivan urgently warns whoever killed Madame Yura and took the box that he knows what's happening to them and is the only one who can stop it. A panicked Mike jumps to his feet and rushes out. Jerry checks out of the motel, handing the keys back to the owner, who, curious about Jerry's stay, jokes if he was a fugitive or a murderer. The motel owner jokingly asks Jerry if he was a fugitive or even a murderer. Mike, meanwhile, sneaks into Jerry's house through the garage, looking for him. He finds the strange, decorated room but sees it is now empty. Outside, Jerry is seen tossing the box and the bolt cutter into the trash, but the disgusting, greasy blob is still hidden somewhere in his house. Mike finds it and becomes more worried than ever. Jerry comes back, seeming almost happy to see Mike. His rashes have now spread up to his neck, and Mike can't hide his concern. Mike warns him about Ivan's message and suggests he go to Ivan for help. Jerry just laughs at the idea that he could be connected to Madame Yura's death just for stealing the box. When Mike insists he go to a hospital, Jerry's anger flares. He's furious that Mike came into his house without his permission. Mike tries to reason with him, saying he can help Jerry make things right if he really did hurt Yura. Jerry, becoming more and more defensive, quickly changes the subject to Lisa. Mike is shocked. Before he can react, Jerry blames Mike for everything that has gone wrong. The argument turns violent, and Jerry chokes Mike with a plastic bag until he dies. Jerry, showing no regret, goes to bed and hugs his magic ball for comfort. By morning, the rashes have spread all over Jerry's face, and his teeth are trembling. He notices something is wrong with the ball. The doorbell rings. It's his friends for his birthday, but Jerry refuses to let them in. When he returns to the room, the ball has shrunk into a small, black, jelly-like substance. Jerry stares at it, mourning its loss. He eventually heads to Ivan's, his face now completely covered in rashes. He looks different, almost like a sober version of himself. Ivan takes the remains of the ball, saying he will try to fix it, but it will cost Jerry. Jerry casually mentions that the ball also works on women, adding that he tried it on his wife. He then asks Ivan if he can join his team, and to his surprise, Ivan agrees. As Ivan carefully carves a new wooden version of the box, Jerry's condition gets worse. His hair and teeth begin to fall out, and his skin starts to burn and melt. The new box is nearly finished, but Jerry is now barely recognizable. His body has become a twisted, inflamed mass of flesh, and his skin is melting like candle wax. In his final moments, Ivan takes Jerry's deformed head and places it in the new box, now called Stick It In Here. The detective then visits Ivan with new evidence. Jerry's DNA was found on money bills from Madame Yura. Ivan quickly denies knowing Jerry. He notices the detective staring at his employees and tries to change the subject by offering him something more interesting, the special. That's the end of the movie. If you like the movie, please like and subscribe to our channel.